This is the first in a series of videos I've entitled Vocal Diagnostics. These are some of my favorite tips and tricks to help us fine-tune our singing, correct things that we don't love, and to enhance things that we do. Today I'd like to talk briefly about backspace. Optimal backspace is elusive. We almost always over-darken, or the palate is very low and we're shoving the sound through the nose. It's really tough to find. Here are a few things that have worked for me and many of my students. So if I'm singing to achieve that optimal backspace there, what I need to do is, number one, try to think of something that I can almost smell right now. It has to be a good smell, something you really want to smell in. Can't be generic either. You can't just say cookies or, a flower. It's got to be something you can almost smell right now. It's always food for me, so I'm going to smell in whole wheat bread right from the oven. Okay, do you have your smell? So if it is cookies, I need you to be specific. What kind of cookies? What's in those cookies? If it's chocolate chip cookies, is it chunks? Is it dark chocolate, milk chocolate? Be really specific. Okay, so once you've got that detailed scent, smell it in again for me. Three main things should happen. Okay, they're very subtle. They're hard to discover. They're hard to notice. So number one, the palate's going to lift, but it's going to lift up and back. Not straight up, but up and back. Okay? Number two, you're going to feel a slight sense of relaxation, or the tongue in the back, you feel it slightly descend. So a relaxation in the tongue, or the very back of the tongue feels like it's slightly descending. The third element that you feel is a slight lowering of the larynx. It's not a press down, it's not a flex or a grip, it's just a very slight lowering. Okay? That's it. That's the trick. That's the idea. If you smell that smell in before every exercise that you sing, it usually helps singers to get to a more optimal space. When you lift your palate, that achieves optimal throat relaxation as well. You can't consciously open your throat, because when you open your throat, you end up flexing muscles to do it. Remember, muscles only move in one direction, and that's by constricting. So if you say, open the throat, to your brain, it's going to flex muscles that are surrounding the throat, but that are actually tensing, not relaxing. A better way to go at that, a more positive direction, is to think about that palate lift. And then, ideally, this will relax, okay? So, you smell that in, smell in your good smell. Now, notice how different that is from smelling, say, a strong smell or a bad smell. So imagine smelling vinegar or a skunk, right? Do you feel that closure? Do you feel the tension creep in here? A lot of times we take breaths like these when we sing a phrase. We breathe in tension. We breathe in a shape that's not ideal. And that will stick with you through the vocal phrase or the exercise. Other things you can think about if the good smell doesn't work for you, it may not work for everybody. You can think of an imploding K breath. So the place that the cold air hits in the back of your throat is your target. That's what you're aiming for. The other version of that you can try is a pre-yawn. So you don't want a full yawn, because of course that'll engage those muscles again, but just before you yawn, or before you take a drink, that slight opening, that slight sense of expansion, that's getting at the same idea here too. And that's the idea in a nutshell of backspace. There are so many other surrounding things that go with that as we talk about resonance and tension and forming vowel shapes efficiently and breath pressure and all of that good stuff. But if you can capitalize on this concept and learn to form good backspace, the singing will be easier and you will find it more natural and more effortless. And you will also find your vowels line up better, so you don't have to work so hard to get from vowel to vowel. I hope this trick works for you. Share with me some of the tricks that you use for finding optimal backspace, or if you're struggling with these and are having a hard time finding them, leave me comments about that too, and let's strategize and see if we can't find a solution that fits you. Every voice is different. No one else knows how to sing with your voice, and ideally, you should be your own best teacher.